Hi everybody, welcome to the Baguette Invested channel for a new weekly video where I review my financial performance and I take a look at most of the financial markets to give you my technical analysis opinion. So you can see in front of your eyes my the recap of all my profits or losses, but I'm still in profits since the start of the year. So you can see that I've been in a range in terms of profits. This is the profits in absolute euros. So you can see I'm around 10,000 euros of profits right now. And this is the profits in terms of percentage over the amount of money I have invested into the markets. Well, the amount of accounts that I have open. So you can see there's no clear trend in terms of my profits. And I'm reaching a very critical point on the low. And I'm really being cautious about not crushing this mark ever again. I don't want my profits to go further down than $10,000, so I'm going to be very conservative with my money management in the future. And this goes very well with the current state of the market that we're going to take a look at. Because in terms of crypto, I've not made any huge mistake. This is just a failed breakout that we see in my portfolio performance. Those things that are really draining down my portfolios are the stock accounts that I just don't understand why I'm so bad at stocks, and I need to really think and work on my stock trading. So together with the technical analysis, this is going to be very obvious, I hope, if you're familiar with the way I see the markets. We've had the worst case scenario, which was the fake breakout on most cryptocurrencies. This is very sad, very disappointing. I didn't want this to happen, but it did happen. We had this big drop right there that fucked everybody's stop loss and margin called everybody. When you see this kind of market and when it starts to get back into the previous range, the range when it was supposed to extract from, this is usually a sign that it's becoming very bad. We saw this kind of phenomenon on the daily chart, the daily time frame, back there in April when we had the failed breakout. That was a signal to be very cautious, and then we had this liquidation candle that made clear that it was many people got out here and got taken out, and then after that we had a massive drawdown. So the real fear that you might have is that there we had a daily setup, and now we might build, I don't know, weekly setup where we're going to have a weekly drawdown for half of the year 2022. That's a very high probability that during the year 2022, we get a very boring market, because now when you look at Ethereum, for example, the Ethereum chart looks still okay, but if you look at the total market cap, you can see a fake breakout. Also here on the total 2, this is the total market cap without Bitcoin. You can see we made a fake breakout. And if you look at the total 3, which is the total market cap without Ethereum and Bitcoin, you can see we made a fake breakout. So the whole crypto market canceled the setup we had. Of course, this is not completely sad. It can always build a new setup. You need to always be optimistic about the markets. But right now, this is no longer risk on. This is risk off. I'm being very cautious. I no longer chase the aggressive trade. Right there, I was really aggressive. I was hoping that we were going to have a nice bounce and that we're going to make new all-time highs every single week, but it just did not happen. The only thing that's looking positive right now is the Ethereum chart that is attacking this big support line right there. You can see this area right there is really a very important level for Ethereum, and if we lose this area, this is going to be very bad. Most altcoins already lost this. For example, I have one in mind, which is MTV USDT, cryptocurrency, of course. You can see that I made quite a few trades on this one. I decided to get out there because I saw the market was just not moving the way I wanted it to move. So I'm going to remove all the annotations I took, and you can see that this level right there was lost. We clearly lost, and I really fear that this might happen for Ethereum. And if this happens, we're clearly in a very bad situation. This is not made. There is still hope that this holds and that we build a new setup. Maybe this is going to bounce, make a new bullish setup and break. If that happens, well, I'd be very happy. But yeah, there is a high probability that we just range and make a very boring market for for at least a month, because when you get big drops, this usually doesn't get up in one single candle. Most people see that the trend on Bitcoin has been very, very volatile. So maybe we're going to see a new volatile trend being set in place, that we go into little jumps like this. I don't know. What I only know is I ask myself if I should be aggressive in my money management or if I should be defensive. And this kind of failed breakout setup tells you should be defensive and not aggressive. So I'm no longer playing offense, I'm playing defense. When you look at the standard financial markets, you can see this is still absolutely crazy. We've not had any correction since March 2022. There has been only a range right there on the S&P 500. But yeah, when you look at the NASDAQ, it would be very healthy that we finally get this correction. Because right now what's happening is that the indexes are going down, but only big stocks are holding. If you look at this ratio right there, that I already made a special video about it, but this is the number of stocks above the 200-day moving average in the S&P 500. So you can see that in the S&P 500, most stocks are actually breaking their long-term bullish trend. So the correction is happening, but behind closed doors. If you look at the Russell, the small cap index for the American stocks, you can see that clearly there has been nothing interesting happening. It's still in a very range market, and we had a fake breakout thanks to the new variants that made all the financial markets tank. And most markets in the world are actually looking like that. You can see that the French stock market is also looking the same way. It's just there's no strong and clear directional way. So the markets are really, really complicated. This is really not where I am good at. It's very hard to make money in these markets when you have a trend following strategy because, well, for trend following, the easy markets are the ones that go up in a straight line, like this one. But when the market's going sideways like this, trend following is very, very hard. And it's not a clear range where you have a bottom and it's very easy to anticipate when it's going to stop going up or when it's going to stop going down. It's like, the trend is very, very, very complicated for me. And I'm really thinking I need to work on a money management and a trading strategy that works into range markets. Or I don't know if I should stay only directional and leave the markets for them. I'm really, really wondering. I had some crypto trades that happened to be very, very strong losers. Like this loss happened very, very happened to be very, very strong. If I remember well, I had my stop loss set on my entry price, so thank God I had this. And yeah, most of the trades, you can look also at, for example, Engine Coin. This is very sad. You had a very nice setup. You could even look at it on a weekly. You could even see this breakout on the weekly right there. And yeah, breakouts just don't work in range markets. There's no point chasing breakouts in range markets. And if you look at it on the daily, it's even sadder if you look at it like that. Yeah, you can see the fake breakouts. And when the breakout fails and turns back on you, you can see the punishment is very, very painful. So I'm no longer aggressive on this market, and I think there is no point being aggressive. You can see that we also hit this resistance on BLOK that I was looking at. Very interesting Metaverse coin, but no, nothing happened. MTV already showed you. Likes also very interesting. I bought here. There was a big news that made the market tank, and I sold around there in the fear of a bear market. There had been a retest of this big support, that the big support area that became now a resistance, and now the market is tanking. So yeah, very bad looking. I'm really looking forward to see what the US market and growth stocks are going to be like. If you look at another interesting thing that I really looking at, this is the growth stocks. So it's basically, well, if you know growth stocks, you know the big tech companies and stocks that have a very fast growing revenue. And this is the value stocks that are mostly well-established company that no longer grow as fast as they grow, but very, very, very slightly on a regular basis. And you can see that growth stocks are very, very strong, in a very, very strong trend, because they are the big tech stocks that took advantage of all this cycle. And the value stocks are just very, very boring. They have done nothing. And we have had a magnificent fake breakout right there. Oh, no, don't want to touch this. Beautiful fake breakout right there. So there has been fake breakouts everywhere, and we are back into indecision, because if we break this area right there, if we start a new downtrend, this is going to be finally directional. And you could do trades, you could do short, or you could do stay out of the market, but you could also short the market. But right now there is just no clear directional. This is very, very annoying to have such a market like that. It's not going to stay forever. You can see we had the same thing right there, that it finally we needed a news. I don't know if you remember right there. It was November 10 of 2020. It was the vaccine announcement by Pfizer and Moderna. It led to a beautiful uptrend. So I think maybe we need a news to start a new move. Like, this was a failed move on the upside because of the Omicron variant, and maybe we need the market to digest a little bit and then have a news that will either take us down or up. I don't freaking know what's going to happen. What I know is that there is no need to be aggressive, and as my results have become very, very close to making new all-time lows, I'm going to be very, very cautious and take very small trades, very small positions, be very, very precise on which opportunities I choose, and this is the most important thing I need to do as a trend follower when the market's conditions are not good and into my favor. I'm working on a video that will recap everything that I learned this year, because I learned so much this year, and I'm going to be making it either this week or in the next week to recap everything I learned this year. So if you're interested into that, you can subscribe to the video. And yeah, I'm going to keep doing videos that share small bits of informations. I'm working towards making more and more detailed and precise and interesting videos, but for now I'm just staying into this tutorial and small informative video. I hope you are finding value into the content you're watching. If you're watching till the end, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing if you're interested into what I do. And that's it. As I said, I'm being very, very cautious about this Ethereum level. And if Ethereum breaks down, I'd be very concerned and I'd short this market. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next videos, and goodbye. Have a nice week.